let's talk about the debate between Tim Ryan and JD Vance last night. This race for Ohio's Senate seat vacated by Rob Portman due to retirement is heating up, and not with much help from Democratic national groups. Tim Ryan has been running as a moderate, which these Democratic national groups should love. He did say Biden shouldn't seek re-election, but all of his positions have been like, I'm a centrist, I'm a moderate, and that's how he's been framing himself in the general. And Tim Ryan also has a lot of equity in his in the state of Ohio, having been a congressman for a long period of time, and I think he has a lot of relationships in the state that should terrify Republicans and JD Vance in particular. But Republican groups on the outside are supporting JD Vance with $30 million, pouring it in recently, where polling shows that they're basically tied. Tim Ryan has been better at fundraising, as I mentioned, but the national Democratic groups have not been backing him aggressively enough, in my opinion. This debate, I think, highlights some of the problems with JD Vance as a general election candidate. No appeal and just some sort of venture capitalist Peter Thiel goon that has achieved prominence as resistance libs recommended Hillbilly Elegy, the book that he wrote, to everyone they knew to understand the Trump voter. Turns out JD Vance is the Trump voter, because that's who Republicans are. He wasn't the special kind of Republican that can go to cocktail parties and be respectable with the centrist Democrats, the one that they like to idealize and fantasize about. No, he's the same guy, because all of the Republicans are the same guy. And he exemplified that in the first debate between the two on Monday. Early voting starts in just days, so the stakes are incredibly high here. Here is the first part of this debate between Tim Ryan and JD Vance that we have a clip for you here, in which they discuss same-sex marriage protections, and JD Vance basically says, I do not support that. I do not support a federal codification of same-sex marriage rights.
Are you ready to support that bill? Why or why not?
Mr. Vance, we start with you.
Yeah, so I've come out against this bill, and I don't think it's actually about gay marriage. It's not about same-sex marriage or same-sex equality. Look, gay marriage is the law of the land in this country, and I'm not trying to do anything to change that. But if you look at the specific bill that's being proposed, it wouldn't just codify something that's already enacted in law. It would actually make it easier for both the government and a lot of private parties to sue religious organizations if those religious organizations don't comply with the dictates of the federal government. I'm a devout Christian, and I think it's important to protect religious liberty in this country. We remember about 10 years ago when the Obama administration, I'm sure supported by Tim Ryan, went after a group of Catholic nuns because that Catholic nunnery wanted to run its organization the way that confirmed with its religious beliefs. That should be okay in this country, and the problem with this legislation is it's going to unleash a wave of litigation against our churches, our religious organizations, our mosques, our synagogues, everything. That's why I don't think it's a great idea.
Thank you, Mr. Vance. Congressman Ryan, same question.
Yeah, I voted for that in the House of Representatives. I will support codifying that into the Senate. But only JD Vance can say that the bill that codifies same-sex marriage is not about same-sex marriage. Only JD. You're the only one, JD Vance, that can actually say that. It's unbelievable. The problem we have here is we have 15,000 marriages here in Ohio. And when you read Justice Thomas's opinion on abortion, which JD Vance wants to celebrate, it also included in there nullifying these marriages, and it also included in there getting rid of protections around birth control. This is what I'm trying to explain to Ohioans, that JD Vance is extreme on these issues. No exceptions for rape or incest. He called rape inconvenient. He said he denied it, but it's on tape. right? Now he says he's not for same-sex marriage. He's going right down the line with the absolute most extremists, the guys who want to ban books and everything else. Those are the guys you bring into the state to campaign for you, JD. These are extreme positions that Ohioans are rejecting.
That was a really good response. I mean, he started off, I was like, how is he going to bring this home? But bringing it back to abortion, understanding that this extreme religious theocratic impulse is one and the same with the one that tries to control women's bodies and the one that supports the overturning of Roe v. Wade. There's a reason that JD Vance's twin flame in Arizona, Blake Masters, had to scrub his website for his primary position on abortion, which was a lot more extreme than the one that he's advertising now. And hey, that guy's down 10 points versus the incumbent Kelly in Arizona. And so you have to connect all of these things together. When Vance is trying to talk about nunneries and whatever garbage that has no salience and is so specific and just bizarre in his story hour there, you have to make it more tangible. And Tim Ryan does just that there. So when we're talking about codifying same-sex marriage protections, we are also talking about abortion because of that Thomas opinion that was added to the rolling back of abortion rights. He provided a blueprint for right-wing groups throughout the country to do the same for issues like gay marriage. And so that's the same reason why Ron Johnson in Wisconsin does not have a better answer for his lack of support for a same-sex marriage bill being codified by the Senate, except to say, oh, well, it's unnecessary. It's not going to happen. Well, I mean, you said that. You guys said that for a long time about abortion. You said it, and all of the Supreme Court justices who rolled back abortion rights said it when they were in their confirmation hearings. It's settled law. It's settled law. It's settled law. Not so much. But here's the second part of that we wanted to highlight from this debate last night, where, of course, JD Vance decides to kiss Trump's ass in a sloppy and public way. Well, I guess he has been trying to do that, I should say. This is Tim Ryan really calling him out on it in the middle of the debate.
Like just a few weeks ago in Youngstown, on the stage, Donald Trump said to JD Vance, all you do is kiss my ass to get my support. He said that. That's bad, because that means JD Vance is going to do whatever he wants. Mitch McConnell's given him $40 million. He's going to do what he wants. And Peter Thiel gave him $15 million. He's going to do what he wants. And here's the thing that's most troubling about this lack of courage is that after Trump took JD Vance's dignity from him on stage in Youngstown, JD Vance got back up on stage and started shaking his hand, taking pictures, saying, hey, aren't we having a great time here tonight? I don't know anybody I grew up with, I don't know anybody I went to high school with that would allow somebody to take their dignity like that and then get back up on stage. We need leaders who have courage to take on their own party. And I've proven that. And he was called an ass kisser by the former president.
Yeah. Cucked. Hey, look, this is I think Tim Ryan is doing a really bang up job with the way that he's attacking JD Vance. He's going after his complete sham of a nonprofit as well, which I believe we might have headlined yesterday, but we can talk more about that. And then calling him a weak person who's essentially kissing Trump's ass and caving to him in that way. It's effective because it's true, especially because of what I described earlier, which is that JD Vance was against Trump until it was inconvenient for him. And now he's got to bend the knee and kiss the ring. And that kind of weakness does not play. And would I prefer a more progressive candidate than Tim Ryan in an ideal world? 100%. But this is the campaign that we have. And in terms of the offensive instincts in the way that he's gone after JD Vance, connecting abortion and gay marriage, basically mocking him for his beta posture to Trump, Those are good tacks to take.
It's textbook Midwestern campaigning.
Yes.
Just constantly saying the guy's name over and over again. He is accenting, he is augmenting his Ohio Yinzer accent very prominently in this debate. And also I just appreciate how he was like, if someone said that I was kissing their ass, all of my friends would beat them up. he's basically like, JD Vance didn't even stand up to him. We would have been like, I don't kiss anybody's ass. Like,
yeah, right. Not a tough guy.
Yeah, it's just pure bravado and masculinity. It also just goes to show like how hilarious it is when people think that the mainstream Democratic Party is like the radical left, so to speak. Like,
Well,
just
yeah.
take Tim Ryan. Like, this is what the Democrats in Ohio want to be representing them in the Senate. At least the infrastructure. I mean, like the party wants that, like Tim Ryan.
Well, you can support abortion rights and still call him like a soy boy. Essentially, that's
the playbook. Exactly.
Right. That's what Tim Ryan's going with. So I wish that the National Democratic Party was and the fundraising infrastructure was giving more attention to this race because of the potential flips that we're seeing. I mean, who are we? Flips, the one that's most likely is Fetterman. I still think that, yes, that's another seat where Toomey's vacating it, but in terms of flipping it from red to blue, I think that that's the most likely. But is this the next most likely flip? Probably.
Yeah, it would probably be this or Wisconsin, I guess. Yeah, but like you said, these are two, like, I would probably compare it more to Pennsylvania just because it's two open seats as opposed to an incumbent running. So, yeah, I think in terms of open seats, definitely this after Pennsylvania, which is, like, honestly probably not what I would have anticipated coming into
given
the
how
race.
Ohio has trended so red.
Oh, yeah. Especially, like, in 2018. Like, there was just no victories for statewide Dems in Ohio in 2018.
But this is an example of a bad candidate versus a candidate who's been in the political infrastructure, and people in Ohio know who Tim Ryan is. And I don't understand why the fundraising apparatus on the national level doesn't recognize it, since Tim Ryan's been one of them for a long period of time. But hopefully the fact that there were some headlines about that and what's happening with this debate recently, maybe they come in at the 11th hour and help him out. Maintaining the Senate is paramount, as we all know.